Support WrestleTalk!
It is WWE Clash of Champions predictions time, and it's also the Jash of Champions because I am joined by Luke Warm Luke Owen and Corporate Chopper to discuss our predictions for the show. How you feeling, guys? You excited for the weekend to see some WWE action?
Yes, please. I am very much excited for the Jash of Champions this weekend. Looking to actually win the championship because I was screwed out of it the last time that it was on the line. So
interesting. Who
win the title?
And whoops was it that screwed you for the championship, dear Luke?
Why, I believe it was Corporate Shopper that screwed me out of the championship.
I mean, screwed is it's a strong word to use there. Just throwing it out there. Don't think it's entirely accurate to say
What word
that.
would you use then?
Should we get on with some predictions?
How you feeling, Pete, about Luke being back, being given, command of the good ship WrestleTalk this week?
You can find my full thoughts on the Raw podcast that went up earlier today, but the brief version is I'm disgusted by his actions and the fact that he would deceive not only myself and Mr. Davis of the All Authority, but the entire WrestleTalk fan base. We know what they want, and he actively deceived everybody, which is, it's just not ideal, is it?
Lying and pretending to be someone you're not, it's something I'm vehemently against. So, I kind of concur with you there, Chopper. So let's crack on with the old predictiones. And obviously, if you want to join in on predictions with the WrestleTalk crew, you need to just become a pledge hammer on Patreon, and you can join Wrestle League, which is the predictions competition. You may be a little bit behind, but it's still a good time to get involved because all the points count, and you're probably still going to beat some of the people who are competing from the office, like, say Adam, who is floating around right at the bottom of things right now, and Corporate Chopper, who's given all of his points to Mr. Davis like a bloody idiot. Let's crack on! Smackdown Women's Championship match. We're going to talk about Bayley versus Nikki Cross. There's a couple of little wrinkles here that I think are quite interesting about this match because I don't think Bayley versus Nikki Cross is all woohoo. That's a really massive match. Obviously, on a show in which all the championships are going to be defended, some of them fall a little bit by the wayside in terms of build. But the wrinkles here are Alexa Bliss, sort of with her new dreadlocks and like she's been on holiday somewhere and she's come back. And then you've got Sasha Banks on the other side of things and their feud, the continuing feud with Bayley.
Yeah, I think we are going to get interference from Sasha Banks against her former best friend Bayley. But she is actually going to help Bayley retain the title because Banks is going to want to beat Bayley for the championship at Hell in a Cell, inside Hell in a Cell, right? Like it feels like it's one of the only feuds in WWE at the moment that is worthy of a Hell in a Cell match. So you do Bayley versus Banks for the title at Hell in a Cell, inside Hell in a Cell. And the way you get to that is by Sasha Banks helping Bayley to retain.
I think Bayley also retains here, but I think it is a continuation of the Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Dubry What's-It, and she's going to run in, hair, foot, it's one big dreadlock now, and then she's going to kiss her on the forehead, hit her sister Abigail, and Bayley's going to pick up the victory. Because you want Bayley with a belt, right, to lead into the Sasha Banks feud, because this is one of those feuds that's worthy of just doing a Hell in a Cell match as just a blow-off, even without the belts, but I think having a crowning moment for Sasha Banks at the end of it, if she beats Bayley in Hell in a Cell, that really elevates it to this is probably one of the most important stories that WWE has managed to tell this year.
Well, I've actually got all of Mr. Davis's predictions because, of course, I'm not actually predicting because I have gifted all my points to him, but he has given me his predictions here that I will be reading. So for this match, he has in fact predicted Nikki Cross to beat Bayley. Now, he hasn't given me reasons. However, if because we're best friends, I can of course tell what he's thinking, and I believe that what he's thinking here is that Alexa Bliss is going to interfere and is going to in fact help Nikki Cross. It's the inverse of what Luke Warm Luke Owen has predicted there, because the Bayley Sasha Banks feud, like you said, doesn't actually need the title, and then Alexa wants Nikki Cross to have the title, so then she can feud with her for the title. It's the complete opposite of what Luke said, which is why it's better.
What about as well? I just thought then, kind of spinning off from what Fakador said. What if Alexa Bliss, the Fiend, interferes and costs Nikki Cross the match, and then reveals herself to be Alexa Bliss. So she's not Sister Abigail. She's instead Lady Fiend.
Lady Fiend.
That sounds like the name, like when you go on a stag do and you've all given yourself like names like Gatesy, and then you've got Lady Fiend. I'm the Lady Fiend.
I thought that's the newest member of Retribution.
Lady Fiend. No, that's a Cliff Jumper or
Sidewanker.
Mango. Sidewanker. I thought you said Sidewanker. Sidewanker.
Sea Spray.
Beachcomber. We're just naming Transformers. If you didn't know, we're just naming Transformers, except Sidewanker, who was not a Transformer.
Only in the IDW Comics version.
Oh, yeah. Gritty. They were gritty. All right, let's do the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, which is obviously Shinny Knickknacks and Cesaro versus the Lucha House Party. I believe, even though they are a bit of a Frankenstein, that Shinny Knickknacks and Cesaro are going to retain here because the Lucha House Party seemingly are going to combust. They don't seem long for this world. Lockdown has not been kind to them.
Splitting up tag teams is the order of the day in WWE. So yeah, why not just split up another tag team? I do think that Nakamura and Cesaro are going to retain.
So according to my piece of paper here, he has actually gone for Lucha House Party for this one because as Luke mentioned, the breaking up of tag teams is the order of the day in WWE. But as we know, WWE are genius storytellers. Riffing off what I think Mr. Davis could be thinking is probably that it's a complete subversion of all the stories of the tag team breaking up. So we expect the tag team to break up, and that's when they're going to flip the switch and say, no, the tag team is stronger than ever, and they're going to beat Cesaro and Nakamura. Maybe it's Cesaro and Nakamura who break up. It's complete flipping the switch. Whoa, so many possibilities.
I like this. Just breaking up a different tag team. Yeah.
And they won't see it coming. Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro as singles competitors. Madness. People won't see that coming.
Before.
Another great prediction there by Mr. Davis. Let's do the Women's Tag Team Championships and more opportunities for splits with Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus the newly reformed Riot Squad. Chopper, I'm assuming that Mr. Davis has chosen the Riot Squad here, thinking that they're going to break up. After being together.
Yes, it's actually, yes, he's going to go for the Riot Squad to pick up the win here, and it's Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax are going to split as a tag team.
I'm going for Jax and Baszler to retain. I just don't see the Riot Squad winning the belts at this point. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
counterpoint.
It feels like, yeah.
Does it matter who's really got the belts?
Do you know what? Bet you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like it honestly doesn't matter. Like I could pick a third team here. I could pick Natalya and Lana to win. It would actually matter as much as me picking between the two teams that are in. But I'm going to go with Jackson. But Jackson Baszler, I actually think who the other one was then.
I'm going to go with the Riot Squad. I think the writing's on the wall for Jackson Baszler to continue their feud. That was what they were doing before they ended up as the tag team champions. And you could lead to them having the sort of payoff match at Hell in a Cell.
But we haven't had like that storyline yet.
Like,
they won the belt and have then just been on the same page. So like surely like you want to start the storyline, right?
How fast do the Women's Tag Team Championship storylines go? They take the course of a match, Luke, to tell the story. That story will start at the bell and then it will finish. It will have wrapped up. It's like a sitcom, and then we're back to ones people for next week's episode.
Counterpoint to that, Luke, of them not telling the story. Does it matter?
Let's talk about the US title match. This is Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews. Where have I heard this before?
Lashley to retain, please.
Oh, really? That's funny. I'm also going for Bobby Lashley, and I have no further follow-ups.
Mr. Davis has gone for Apollo Crews.
Okay.
Because he can't pick MVP.
Yeah. He hasn't given me any more than that, but, maybe it's Apollo's time to win it back, and Hurt Business can go on to feud with T-Bar and Mashed Potatoes and whoever else is in there.
Let's talk about the Raw Tag Team Championships, which is the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza.
Cannot believe we've got this match again.
I feel like we're caught in a time loop.
This is their 8th match in various combinations in 9 weeks. Angel Garza has been feuding with the Street Profits over the Raw Tag title since before WrestleMania. This has been It's nearly the end of the year. It's nearly Christmas. And it's still going for these tag titles. We're still having this match. Street Profits have got to win, and we've just got to move on. But also, these are back on the same page again. Like they split up last week. Nope, they're back together again now. Great. I want them to split up. I want this match over. I want them done.
I'm going for Andrade and Angel Garza. I think if they've put that much effort in. Garza's been grafting away, trying to win these belts since before WrestleMania. He deserves a chance to do that. And they're not really doing anything else for the Street Profits. So, like, I don't know. I feel like Andrade and Garza are money as a team, and I think they're great. And like, yeah, maybe this is the way to move the feud on, which is take the belts off the Street Profits so that Andrade, well, especially Angel Garza, finally achieves his lifelong goal of being the Raw Tag Team Champion.
Mr. Davis has gone for Andrade and Angel Garza, which ideally should be the end of the feud. Street Profits will not get a rematch. They just lose and then move on to other things. Don't care what those things are. Just move them on to someone else.
Split them up. Split them up. No tag teams left.
Montez Ford, WWE champion. Luke. That's a direct quote.
That's a direct quote from me. It's going to happen.
FTR over there in AEW just shedding a tear for the tag division as it crumbles. Right, let's do the Raw Women's Championship match, which is actually happening on the pre-show. And this is Asuka versus Zelina Vega, which is, I mean, a cool combination of people to see. But yeah, I mean, I think its placement in the programming schedule has given away the finish, maybe. I think Asuka is going to destroy Zelina Vega.
I think Asuka's retaining.
Mr. Davis has gone for Zelina Vega for this one. Shock upset for this because WWE don't care about Asuka. Zelina revealed in a podcast recently that Vince McMahon keeps calling her one of his favorites, and he always says, you know, one of my favorite characters on Raw, and you're the reason that a load of people will come back to watch Raw because you're one of my favorite characters and all that stuff. Vince McMahon likes her. He doesn't like Asuka. Mr. Davis is a genius, really.
There's like a wrinkle of logic that is running through some of these predictions from Mr. Davis.
There really is.
But also, it's been extrapolated out to a point of no return.
Don't question his ways. If you can't comprehend his higher brain functions, then just don't try.
All right, let's do the Intercontinental Championship ladder match, which is Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles versus the undefeated actual Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn. Who do you think is going to win? Luke Warm Luke Owen. I'm going to come to you first because I haven't got an answer yet.
I was going to say, I'm really stumped on this one. This one I'm really, really stumped on. I'd love to see Sami win. Like, particularly if it's through nefarious means. I'd really like to see Sami win. But, you know, there is Jeff and AJ. There was a three-way coin that I could flip. I've got a D4. Right. I'm going to say 1 is
Roll
Jeff.
Again.
A 2 is AJ. A 3 is Sane. And it's a 1. I'm going Jeff Hardy.
Very good. Very scientific, your methods are. I'm glad you're doing it. Actually
John,
parts unknown.
You want me to do it for you as well?
You might as well, yeah.
A 2. So AJ Styles for you.
Okay, I'll take AJ. That's fine.
Corporate job. Do you want me to do yours?
I've got it written down, Luke, on this bit of paper. I don't
sorry.
need you to roll the dice for me. Thank you very much.
He's
actually gone for
1 if you want.
He's gone for Sami Zayn for this one. Jeff Hardy has just won the belt not too long ago. Chances are Jeff is looking like the favorite to retain, but Sami Zayn, you can never count him out. He's been sneaky, he's been nefarious on SmackDown, he's been coming out on top in various segments, trying to get a jump on people, hitting people with haluva kicks from out of nowhere. Yeah, so Sami, why not?
Do you know what? I'd love to see him win. Reform the Artist Collective.
I mean,
I
think
Cesaro and Nakamura would have split up after the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, so you can't get them back again.
Yeah, but they can join as separate entities.
Of course.
Obviously, they would have been renamed Trowel and Shovel by that point, but whatever. Let's move on with the WWE Championship match. This is an ambulance match between Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. I'm hoping that they're saving the big, who's going to beat Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship for Keith Lee. I'm really hoping that that's what they're doing. But I can also just see a world in which Randy Orton wins this match. And that's the world I think we live in. So I'm going with Randy Orton.
Yeah, I've gone for Orton as well. I don't feel confident in this one. Although I haven't said that. I've bet against Orton. Or sorry, I've bet with Orton rather. Twice for the past 2 pay-per-views. And it's really not paid off. So maybe third time's a charm. Maybe this will be the time where Randy actually comes through for me. I'm going to stick with Randall Keith Orton.
Stick to your guns, Luke, is what I say. Just like how Mr. Davis was always predicting MVP until they had to take him off pay-per-views to stop him predicting that. And that's what we'll just do with Randy Orton. We'll just keep predicting Orton until he wins or they take him off pay-per-views.
Well, you're both idiots because Mr. Davis has gone for Drew McIntyre because he's going to retain because he's really strong and he's going to keep the title forever because he's awesome. Drew wins.
Okay, so let's do the Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns and his cousin, Jay Uso. I think Roman Reigns is going to win, and I think the fairly obvious answer is he's not just going to win, but he's absolutely going to murder Jay Uso to prove himself as the Universal Champion and really cement that heel turn. Like, what is more heelish than beating up a member of your own family? I'm really looking forward to this because I think Roman Reigns' heel turn has been fantastic so far. I think this is a really smart, fun bit of booking. Like, I think people have seen Roman Reigns and the Usos working together loads, but they've never really seen this dynamic between them. And I think, I imagine Jay's going to get very little in the way of offense, really. I think it's going to start out with like a sort of show of respect, and then Roman Reigns is going to go off on one and just pulverize him. And then they'll be calling back that ambulance from the Drew McIntyre Randy Orton match. Like, come on, come back. We need this.
Roman. Nothing more, Your Honor. Roman Reigns.
And Mr. Davis, a lot of these predictions, may be considered surprising. Mr. Davis has his own thought process and things like that. But even he cannot predict against Roman Reigns because he is going to murder Jay Uso, and I cannot wait for it. I've been saying it for weeks and weeks on the Smackdown Review podcast. I'm so into this Roman character, and Mr. Davis is as well. And he is going to absolutely brutalize Jay and be solidified as an absolute mega star heel, because he already feels like a superstar on SmackDown, and having him come out and absolutely destroy him. I don't want Jay Uso to get a single move in. I want Roman to destroy him, and it's going to be the most fun Roman Reigns match in history. It's going to be great.
Let's wrap this up. That is all we've got time for on this prediction show. Please do become a pledge hammer on Patreon if you want to take part in Wrestle League and predict against us. It's obviously incredibly important. And watch the Clash of Champions reaction stream that's happening on the weekend, because we'll get to see whether or not Luke Warm Luke Owen can retain his job and also win the Jam That Championship. I'll be interested to see what happens this weekend. I'll be watching intently. That was predictions. I've been off Vega. I've been joined by Luke Warm Luke Owen and Corporate Chopper. Like I said, that was predictions. Bye.